financial independence. Can we actually achieve it? It seems too good to be true. What do we need in order to reach financial freedom and retire early? Welcome back to The Money Journey with Mila, the podcast for women in their 30s who want to become wealthy. I'm your host, Mila. If you're a woman who feels financially behind, who wants to prioritize her finances but doesn't know how, and you know you want to become wealthy, this is the place for you. Every week, I break down tips and tricks on how to manage your finances better. I share ways that I've improved my finances. I went from $83,000 in student loan debt to six figures in investments. And I'm going to share everything that I've learned along the way. If you haven't subscribed already, be sure to. And you probably noticed this is a video podcast, which I'm really excited about. The past 12 episodes have all been audio podcasts, but I'm excited to share my thoughts in a more visual and personal way. So let me know what you think. But before we get into today's topic, I wanted to catch up a bit. So last week, I shared my quarterly money reset and how I'm prioritizing my finances, specifically how I set 90-day goals. And you know what? I think that 90-day goals are the answer. 90-day goals really are a lot more attainable and a lot less overwhelming. And for me, I just feel more motivated focusing on 90-day goals versus focusing on yearly goals because the year ends in 9 months, but my 90-day goals are coming up. So I know I can achieve them. So let me know. What do you think in the comments? Do you feel like 90-day goals and quarterly goals are more achievable than yearly goals? The next thing that I've been doing is I created a wants list. And specifically, this is a list for things that I want to buy in this quarter. Now, I'm not going to buy it tomorrow. I'm going to buy it within the next 3 months. And I am spending within my parameters as well. Now, I'm not going to splurge, but these are things that I've been wanting. So I put them on the want list. Let me know if you've done this before. So today's topic is all about financial independence. What is it? How can you achieve it? And what are some steps you can start taking today to get on the path to financial independence? I'm so excited to talk about this topic because it's something that I am really interested in. You know, when I first started my personal finance journey, I was not thinking about financial independence. I was thinking about paying off all of my debt so I can just have some money to live off of. I thought I was going to work until I was 65 and I would retire at traditional retirement age. However, when I read the book, The Simple Path to Wealth, I learned about investing and I also learned about financial independence. At its core, financial independence is really when you are able to live off of your investments and passive income to pay for your living expenses. So what that means is you don't have to rely on your 9-to-5 job to live off of and survive every day. Instead, you have options. You have options to retire early, take a part-time job, make less money, or options to travel the world and just do what you want with your money. It ultimately gives you financial freedom. So what I also learned, like when reading that book and when also like reading other books about financial independence, people pursue financial independence because they want options. They don't want to have to worry about not having enough money to live their lives. They want to have the flexibility to do what they want. They want to be able to make choices with their money to improve their lives. They don't want to have to worry about not having enough money to live. And that's honestly what made me want to pursue financial independence because as I've said before in this podcast, I have had my career setbacks. I have had my financial setbacks. I was in 5 figures of student loan debt and I just felt like, you know, you never know what can happen. And I don't want to have to worry about money when I am in my 50s or 60s. That's why I ultimately pursued financial independence. And in my 30s, now that I'm out of student loan debt and I have a lot more money, I realize that I am at a point in my life where I can take risks and make financial choices to get to retirement sooner. You never know what can happen. I just want to have that option to say, hey, I can take a part-time job or take less pay. I don't have to rely on working to survive. Instead, I can have options to do what I want. And that's why I want to pursue financial independence even more now, especially with the job market changing. Jobs are unpredictable. The market is unpredictable. And there's so many things happening. Like AI is at the forefront. Even though it's a great tool to improve your life, who knows? We may be out of careers in the next 20 years. So I want to financially be prepared and have options to navigate life as it changes. And that's ultimately what makes me passionate about financial independence. But if you're curious, I'm like, hey, okay, so that sounds interesting. Like, I want to have options. In order to get serious about financial independence, you have to think about like these 5 pillars. And I took some notes, so don't judge me for like reading off my notes. Before like you actually take steps to pursue financial independence, you have to get into the mindset. And that's ultimately like what I did is like I had like a mindset shift to really prioritize financial independence. You have to believe that financial independence is possible for you. So it's like, it's not just for people who make 6 figures. It is for you for specifically in your lifestyle. The next thing you have to think about is you have to pursue taking financial actions for future you and not for you in the present. So by saving intentionally, by investing intentionally, you are focusing on like the long-term gratification versus the short-term gratification. The third mindset shift that you have to think about is you have to really understand that money is a tool that can improve your financial future. It's not just something to have and like to spend. And these are 3 things that I have thought about when I really considered financial independence. I honestly, I locked in and I realized I don't want to work for the rest of my life. So I know that I need to really get into this mindset that financial independence is for me. I can actually achieve it. I can make financial choices now to help future me. So that's investing, that's saving. Like I don't have to squirrel my money away. I can just be intentional with how I'm spending my money and how I'm saving my money. Also, I know that money is a tool that can improve my financial future. So the way I use money with investing my money and saving my money is going to help future me. And the way I'm spending my money on things now and how I'm like investing in myself is improving my financial outcomes in the future. So I think like when you have those 3 things locked down, that's how you can take the steps to achieve financial independence. So when it comes to financial independence, putting it into action, you have to do some practical things. And there's 5 things to achieve financial independence. And that is you have to know your numbers. How much are you earning? Spending, that is like your baseline to understand what are you doing in order to improve your finances. And the way to do that is, I've preached about this before, but is you need to create a budget. You know where your money's going. So once you start doing that, you'll have a better idea of, okay, this is how I can take steps forward to achieving financial independence. So after you know your numbers, you need to think about how can you spend intentionally. You don't have to live like a hermit. You don't have to cut out everything fun or that brings you joy. You just have to spend intentionally and on things that you value. So the third thing you're going to want to do is, and I think this is key in order to like really have your money grow, is you have to increase your income. In the past 10 years, I have increased my income as I've gotten a new job. And you can do this as well. You can switch jobs at, say, every 2 years. Many people switch jobs. You can build a side hustle, which is like something that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build a side hustle with my podcast. You can build on skills that can pay you more. If you are good at writing, why don't you get paid for writing? Or if you are good at like organizing, why don't you try to be like a professional organizer? You can negotiate your salary. Why don't you try asking for more money? So number 4, something that will help your growth is by investing early and often. And this is, I would say, where like the magic happens and what the cheat code is to financial independence is compound interest is your friend. And with investing, the money that you invest today will compound exponentially in the next 20 years. I started investing when I was in my 20s and I invested small amounts, but I invested consistently. That money has grown to 6 figures in the past 10 years. And now that I have made more money, I continue to invest more. And I also have invested in multiple streams of income. So I not only invest in my employer-sponsored 401k, I also invest in a Roth IRA, a brokerage account. And that's also key to achieving financial independence is building multiple streams of income. So now I want to talk about the formula behind financial independence. You're probably thinking like, okay, like this all sounds good, but like, where's the math with this? Like, how can I actually do this? And really, when it comes down to the formula to achieving financial independence is the more you save and invest, the faster you will reach financial independence. If you invest more every year, you will reach your financial independence number sooner. So how can you figure out your financial independence number? Think about how much you plan on spending every year during retirement. Say you spend $100,000 a year and you plan on spending that amount by the time you retire. You take $100,000 times 25. And that will give you your financial independence number, which is $2.5 million. So once you have that number, you can work towards investing towards that number. And if you start off with $0 today, you can reach financial independence if you invest consistently and invest more every single year. I use an investment calculator that I'll leave a link to in the show notes, just plugging and playing different numbers to reach your financial independence number. That's really the gist of financial independence. In order to achieve it and really try to work towards it, you have to get into the mindset of, okay, I am going to prioritize saving and investing. I'm going to live within my means. I'm going to spend intentionally. I'm going to increase my income as much as I can. And I'm going to have multiple streams of income. So before I let you go, I want to leave you with some steps on how you can start putting things into action to move forward to reaching financial independence. And these are simple things that you can do that will compound exponentially if you consistently do them. So number one, try tracking your spending for 7 days. And from there, you can see what your spending patterns are, what you don't want to spend your money on, what are some things that you can cut out. And that helps you move into the next point. Number two, cancel one reoccurring expense that you no longer use. Cut out a subscription that you're no longer using. And the last thing that you can do is increase your retirement contribution by 1%. Or you could invest a little bit more in your Roth IRA or traditional IRA if you don't have a 401k plan. If you start doing these things, you are then putting your plan into action of moving towards financial independence. So that's all that I have for you today. I hope this sparks something in you. And if you're thinking, I do want to reach financial independence, then we can continue this conversation as I want to unpack this topic in future episodes. If you enjoyed this conversation, share it with a friend who's on their own financial journey. And if you want more tools, tips, and resources, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Thanks for listening,